Hello and welcome to all my Flosstube neighbors. I am Chris and this is XrossStitch, and today is Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024, and this is Flosstube number 71. I am so very happy that you took some time out of your busy day to spend with me. If you are a new viewer, welcome to my neighborhood. We are a neighborhood here at XrossStitch. This is a channel primarily about cross-stitching, but I tell stories and well, there's lots more stuff than just cross-stitching here. So I hope that you enjoyed the video enough to like it and subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you know when I post videos. If you are a returning neighbor, welcome back. I'm glad to see you again, and I hope that you have had a very good couple of weeks since last we were together. There is so much, I have done so much stitching over the past 2 weeks. I'm so proud of myself. I've had such a great stitchy time. So without further ado, we're going to dive right into it, because today we finish the Mother Saga, finally, thankfully. And I do have a lot to talk about, and I don't ever like my videos to be too terribly long. So we're going to launch right into it right now. I did not have any finishes over the past 2 weeks, which is a little bit unusual for the last several videos. I've been finishing things, generally ornaments, but I've had a lot of finishes the latter half of 2023 and the early part of 2024. But this week, these past 2 weeks, I focused on some works in progress, and the one that I literally could not put down for several days was the beautiful Train of Dreams. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs with artwork by Randall Spangler. This was part of a stitch along a couple of years ago, the Train of Dreams stitch along, and my friend and fellow Flosstuber Michaela in Germany, who has a Flosstube channel, Nadelsucht. She turned me on to this one. I had put it away for a long time, but you saw it recently when I was working on the diagonal. And let me tell you something. I'm going to show you the progress as I pontificate about this piece. I like working neat, and I really enjoyed working in the diagonal for a while. And I was trying different techniques with my parking method and my working on the diagonal. And I was realizing that one day, I'll tell you, I sat there and I worked for, I think, 2 solid hours. And I think I only got 3 rows completely done. Well, that may be an exaggeration or underestimation, but I wasn't moving at the speed that I wanted to move on this piece. So I made a decision. I decided I was going to stitch all the threads and I was going to go cross-country skiing on the sucker, and that's exactly what I did. And let me tell you, I'm very pleased with how it's coming along. It's not initially as easy on the eye when you look at a cross-country piece, and it certainly doesn't unfold as neatly or as completely as you might want. But I think the number of stitches that I was able to put into this thing quadrupled during a single day. And once I got into the groove of it, I really loved it. And as you can see, I got a tremendous amount done. This is so much fun to stitch. I really enjoy doing it. This was part of my whip go for February. I was committed to doing 5 days on this. I actually completed it before, well, right at the very beginning of February. But I think I probably put about 10 days in on this. So that's another accomplishment checked off, and that's my Train of Dreams. I just love it. I haven't put it up yet. It's still out right over there waiting for me. And I do want to continue working on it. It's going to still be in my rotation for at least the very near future. The lovely Train of Dreams, Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Randall Spangler. Another piece that I couldn't put down that was part of my, oh, I sounded really Southern just in the, did you hear that? Did you hear the diphthong on that down? I've been watching too many videos of the Floss Boss and Cousins. You know, it's funny with my Southern accent because it definitely is there and people can definitely hear it. But over the years, it is kind of, you know, softened around the edges so that sometimes when I speak to people that I've not met before, they honestly don't know where I'm from. Some people have actually thought I was from the UK before when they heard me, which I don't understand. I can do a really good British accent, but I don't understand that. But boy, let me tell you, when I watch when I watch Christy and Callie, because they're from the same part of Alabama that I come from, so I slip right back into it like a comfortable shoe. And anyway, down. I couldn't put this next piece. I'll do it real thick here. I couldn't put this next piece down. It is Modern Folk Embroidery. Fruits aplenty. Let's see how long I can keep this going. And it sure is pretty. I've decided to do this in shades of Delft blue, like the pottery from over there in the Netherlands. And Lord, I can't do that anymore. This was part of my WIP Go for January. I was committed to doing 5 days on it. I completed that goal and I have continued to have it out and I'm just loving it. I have a secret little goal and you can see the progress that I've made. I have a secret little goal of keeping up with this year. I don't know that I'm going to stick to it completely, but I finished the sum total of the January and February blocks now, and all I have to do to finish this top section is the March block, and we're still in February. So in my mind, if I can finish that block this month, I'm ahead of the game. And if I keep going, I may get that piece finished this year. Now, I'm not going to promise it, but wouldn't that be great? I would love to see that completed. I love stitching on this. It is a concentrated stitch, meaning it is not I can't watch television and be engrossed in something and stitch on this one. But man, I love it. And I got a good amount done over the past 2 weeks. This is a mixture of 3 different fibers, as I've said, all DMC, a dark color, a light color, and then a variegated color. And then for the bulk of that body section and in most of the sections where you're stitching kind of the negative space, I do a blend of the lightest color and the variegation to kind of tone down that variegation. That was a suggestion offered to me by Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery, and it was a wonderful one. I'm loving this piece, loving how it comes out, and I'm so glad that you enjoy it. This is one of your favorites, and I'm happy to continue to be working on it. Modern Folk Embroidery, The Fruits of Plenty, the stitch along for 2021. Yeah, it was the stitch along in 2021. And here it is 2024 or 2022. I don't remember. Anyway, it's 2024 and I'm still working on it because it's still fresh fruit. Many of you are doing 24 starts in 2024. This was an idea that I learned of from the wonderful Pam of Just Keep Stitching. And I jumped on that bandwagon, and I am doing a combination of ornament starts and other project starts. I'm doing 1 ornament every month, so there's 12 starts. And I'm doing a larger project start every month as well. And mine for January, the larger project start, was another Modern Folk Embroidery piece. Modern Folk Embroidery's No Time Like the Present. Now, this is his stitch along for this particular year. I'm not going to do it as the stitch along because I'm already behind. I'm not even thinking about that. But I started it in January as my large project start. And here is where I have gotten on that one. I'm really enjoying stitching on this. And I think it's just because so many other things I couldn't put down. I was working on Fruits of Plenty. I was working on my full coverage piece, The Train of Dreams, and I just didn't put as much time into this over the past 2 weeks as I had on those other two, but I did get some done. And I'm loving these Vicky Clayton silks, beautiful silks in an aquamarine, and the coral color is called quince. And it's really quite an enjoyable stitch. This fabric is beautiful. This is an even weave by those missing stitches in the color Darling David. And it's just a lovely parchment dye, hand-dyed kind of parchment color and texture. Really pretty. More to come on this one. I haven't gotten in a groove yet. I think the only reason is because I've been distracted by other pieces, but I really enjoy stitching on it. No Time Like the Present by Modern Folk Embroidery. We're not completely done with the cross stitching, but usually between my works in progress and my starts, or my finishes and my works in progress, I usually like to put a little interlude in just to break it up a bit. So the interlude this week is about what we did over the weekend. We had such a great time over the weekend, and you saw some of the photographs earlier in the introduction to the video from our trip to the ice castles in northern New Hampshire. Over the weekend, we and a few friends went up to Littleton, New Hampshire, which is an adorable town in the northern part of New Hampshire on the other side of what is referred to as the Notch. The Notch is a place where the mountains in northern New Hampshire, you go through them. And it was the first time we'd been up there. It is stunningly beautiful, stunningly beautiful. And Littleton is just an adorable little New England town with a river running through it, and you can eat next to the river. It was very cold, but we enjoyed walking around there. And interestingly, it is where Pollyanna originated. And I just thought that was fascinating. There's even a statue of her there. And of course, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of Pollyanna references around the town, but I love that. I love anything literary at all. As you know, I'm a big proponent of reading. I'm a big fan of literature, and later on in the episode, you're going to see a start that keys into that. But it was fun going to Littleton. But the ice castles was actually a little bit south of that. We backtracked outside of Woodstock, New Hampshire, the big ice castles exhibit. And these are, I did not know about these beforehand. Living in Southern California, you certainly wouldn't have anything like this in your backyard. But these apparently are done all over the country in different cold weather climates. And it was an amazing, it's just a man-made exhibit of ice structures. And so beautiful. And, it was just making my little Empire Strikes Back heart go pitter-patter, because it reminded me of the ice planet Hoth and Frozen, Disney's Frozen, and Narnia, and all that. It was beautiful. The exhibit itself, you walked through the ice castles, and there were archways and tunnels and a slide and a bridge, and the lights that lit it up from within. Just beautiful. And then there was a forest walk with all kinds of LED lights and hanging lights and ice sculptures. It was just beautiful. And we had such a good afternoon and evening visiting Littleton and Woodstock, New Hampshire. So I thought you'd enjoy that. I just wanted to share that with you. It was a new winter adventure for us, and I'm sure it will be a tradition to attend those things going forward in winters to come. So hope you enjoyed that. We certainly did. On to a couple of starts. With keeping up with my 24 and 24 starts, my ornament start for this month was a Christmas ornament from Satsuma Street. This is turtle doves. As you know, I'm doing all of the 12 days of Christmas that she has put out. When I complete this one, I will have the partridge, the turtle doves, and the French hen. And then I just need to move on to the 4 calling birds, and I think that's as far as she's gotten. 5 golden rings is this coming year, I believe, or this year. But this is great. Turtle doves, I started stitching it on. Now, I did not get the kit. This is an interesting thing. You'll be interested in this. I didn't get the kit for this one. I am doing this with my own flosses and my own perforated paper. And I have enough beads and sequins left over from the previous kits that I have purchased from Satsuma Street to do all the beading and sequining on this one. I did discover an amazing website, and there are more than one of them. There are more than one of them, yes. And I'm sure many of you know about them, but it's a DMC to DMC conversion website. I have so many shades of DMC, but of course you never have the one you need, right? You could have 400 colors, and the one or two that you need are not in your stash. So I thought to myself, there's got to be a DMC shade for a couple of these things that are so close that you'd never know. And sure enough, there are many websites out there where you can type in a DMC color and it will give you the closest one to it. And I have done that for a couple of shades on this particular ornament, and it's really, really helpful. So I'm sure you all know about that, but if you don't, all you have to do is Google DMC to DMC conversion, and the websites will pop up. So use those if you ever need them. I found it to be really helpful, and honestly, I can't tell the difference. This is a fun stitch. These are always fun stitches, these Satsuma Street ornaments. So much so that she is sold out of the kits now for, I think, almost all of her Halloween ones and her Christmas ones. Of course, she does offer on her Etsy site and on her website, Satsuma Street's website, she offers the PDF downloads without the kit materials. So that's what I'm doing for these, and will probably do for a few more going forward because I want to keep up on my ornament stitching. So my official ornaments start for February, Turtle Doves by Satsuma Street, and I bet you money this will be a finish the next time we meet. So that was my ornament start for February. So what is my larger project start for February to keep up with my 24 in 24? Well, I'm not going to start a huge project every single month because that just gives me, the vapors. It's a Southern themed video. Oh, it's giving me the vapors. I need to lie down on my fainting couch, Scarlett. Yeah, I'm not going to start a big project every single month as part of my 24 and 24. So some of them are going to be smaller. And this being February, I wanted to start or stitch something Valentine-y, and the Turtle Doves had a heart on it. And I think I wanted to do something along those lines because I do like to decorate seasonally. You saw in the intro my Prairie Schooler square that I stitched a while back for the month of February. I have it on display. But I also like to decorate seasonally in non-traditional ways, meaning, have Edgar Allan Poe for Halloween. And I thought, well, what could I do for February that I could have up in the house that has a literary reference or has, something that means something to me, but is also very much in keeping with the spirit of the holiday or the season. The first thing that popped into my head was the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. One of my favorite, Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass were two of my favorite books of childhood and remain so to this day. And I didn't discover her. I have seen her designs for a long time now, and I've just never gotten around to stitching anything. But I found the Queen of Hearts from Brooke's books on Etsy. And that I was like, finally, I have an excuse to get one of Brooke's designs and do it. And man, it is fantastic. I started stitching on this last night and I could not put it down. It was such an enjoyable stitch. Now, I am changing some of the colors. Brooke, please forgive me. but I am doing a little bit of a modification with converting some of the colors in the dress to all shades of red and burgundy. Just because I want to overdo the Queen of Hearts kind of thing. Her chart is beautiful. Her design is beautiful. I just wanted to use some more reds in it. I'm doing this on a beautiful piece of even weave of Jobelin, which I don't normally like to stitch on because of the Jobelin. Can you translate what that means? That Jobelin is bouncy to me. It's got a lot of play in it, you know, and it seems like I almost never can get it tight enough, either on a scroll rod or on my hoop, which I am stitching this on one of my new hoops that I can never remember the name of. Nerge. Did you see that? That word just flew into my head. Hit me like a softball upside of the head. Nerge. And I'm enjoying it because I can get it tight enough. I'm getting tight enough that the fabric is not impeding my enjoyment of the stitching, as it does with Sleepy Hollow, just between me and you. But that's beside the point. Couldn't put it down last night. Love it, love it, love it. I want to finish this by next video so badly. And I'm going to work on it again today. I just know tonight. So it may be finished before you know it. Check out my Instagram, because if I finish it, I'll put it up there before I show it on a video. But I just love it, and I'm so glad to be finally stitching something by Brooke. Brooke's Books. You can find her on Etsy. I will link her below. Beautiful. She does amazing designs, all of which are literary themed or holiday themed, and she does beautiful ornaments with perforated paper, layered perforated paper. I'm going to do some of those later on in the year. Complex with tiny, perforated paper with not just one thing, but like two. I can't describe it, but she's fabulous. Go check her out on Etsy. I bet you will add a few things to your cart. But this is The Queen of Hearts by Brooke's Books, my official larger start for February. It's time for story time with Chris, and this is the last chapter of the story that I've been telling for these past many videos. I knew it was going to be a long episodic saga, because it's not something you can do in one fell swoop. It would have had to have been a whole video, and you know, that's just not my style. And if you are just watching me for the first time, you might want to pause. You want to skip over and go back and catch up, because this is the end of the story, and it is quite a story. But I'm going to tell the last little bit is very quick, and then I'm going to kind of do the epilogue. When we last left the story, Mother was living in Birmingham with the gentleman that she lived with and married, was with about 8 or 9 years, I believe. I was in college at Birmingham Southern College in Birmingham, Alabama. We lived probably 25 minutes away from each other. She was on one side, I was on the other side of town from her. And rarely saw each other. Like I said in the last video, I could count on almost on both hands the times that we saw each other while we were in that close proximity to each other. I through a series of events unfolding, I got the opportunity to move to Los Angeles right after my fourth year at Birmingham Southern. I was going to be a fifth-year senior because I had to drop out for an entire semester because I got mono. So I got the opportunity to move to LA and did not finish my degree until a few years later. It was a big deal at the time for everybody involved. But I was bound and determined to go to LA and start my career, and I did. And 2 weeks after I got there, I was cast in my first show. But anyway, that's beside the point. That's not the story I'm telling right now. I had been in LA, and as I said in the last video, I went to see my mother before I did that, and she, it was like less than half an hour of a goodbye. I went to LA in September and did not speak to my mother or anything at all the rest of that year or into the next year. And for some reason around, it was in April, I decided to call her out of the blue. And I did, and got in touch with her. It was on a Sunday. And we had a long, cordial talk. And it, had given me hope that maybe, there would be some sort of relationship going forward. That was on a Sunday. That Thursday, I got a phone call from Marilyn, the woman that I have spoke of in stories past, who became my surrogate mom, basically. My grandmother by this time she had already passed away. She died at the very beginning of my sophomore year of college. But Marilyn said to me that two ladies of the church had been reading the obituary column in the Birmingham News and that they thought my mother had died. And she told me the name that was on the obituary. And sure enough, it was my mother's name with her new married surname. So I immediately got off the phone and called the house, called her. And the little boy answered. And I asked for her. And he asked who it was. And I told him, well, this is her son, Christopher. And he said, well, Christopher, I have something to tell you. And I said, I know she's dead. Let me speak to your father. And I did, and it didn't go well. She had been alone at the house on, I believe, the Monday. And he had left the house to go pick up the daughter at cheerleading practice. And when he came back, he found her on the bed and she had passed away. Mother was she did not take care of herself. She smoked like a chimney. And even though I don't know for sure, I'm pretty certain that she just had a heart attack and died. When I was speaking to him on Thursday, she had already been cremated. And there was no real kind of service or anything for her. And he informed me very succinctly that her last wish was that her ashes be kept with him and buried with him when he died. So that's where they are to this day. They are, on a shelf in his home. And that's fine. And that's how the story ends. And I'm okay. I'm okay. As I said at the beginning of this, please do not, your words of comfort and care have been really wonderful as I've told this story. And they matter greatly. But my mother, for so many years, for so much of my life, was a figment in my imagination. a living memory of when I was a very little boy. And when she left, it was very painful. But she was gone for so long that she did become more of an idea than a reality. So her loss was nothing compared to that of my grandmother. And while I initially, when I found out about her death, I bawled. I don't shed many tears over her anymore. She was a troubled woman. And I was powerless to do anything to help her. And I don't even know, had I been, I don't know if I were even me now then, if I could have helped her, because no one could have. She had her life to live, and she lived it. And she did what she wanted to do, always. And I'm sad that she never got to see me as a grown man. I'm sad that she never got to see the accomplishments that I've achieved. But I have been very loved in my life. I have been very cared for and protected by those amazing women who raised me other than she. And I owe them everything. My grandmother, Marilyn, my aunts, the ladies who lived on our street, the village that raised me well. And I am all the better for it. And I hope wherever she may be, my mother is at peace, because I'm at peace with her. I really am. And my story is my own, and I can't regret anything, because if I did, I wouldn't be who I am right now. And I wouldn't be sitting where I am right now, talking to all of you, sharing with all of you. And hopefully in some small way, helping you. Because through our shared stories, we find the commonality among us all. And the walls of difference fall down. So, that's the end of the story. Thank you for being so patient. Thank you for the support and the love and the kindness that you have shown me. And from now on, we will tell happier stories. And we will get back to the zany tenor that is my channel. But it was time to tell the story of my mother. And now you have it all. You have the entire book to put on the shelf. I have a couple of quick thank yous. I received some cards in the mail. One of our dear viewers, Sherry, who is so kind about sending me postcards, sent me a postcard from one of her vacations. And I'm very jealous because she was in a beautiful place, San Martin. And then I received a lovely thank you card from our dear neighbor, Ruthie. Ruthie, thank you so much for your kindness with this card. I do appreciate it. And as I said, you know, whenever I do giveaways and I send you things, sending me a thank you card is not a requirement, but it is certainly appreciated and very much treasured. So thanks to the two of you. I always love going to the mailbox since I have started this channel, I have to tell you. And I'm very grateful for all of it. So thanks so much. Moving on to giveaways from last week, I have 3 winners to announce. We had 2 giveaways that were my Pass the Stash giveaways, these little Mill Hill ornament kits that I've already completed. The first was Celestial Sleigh, and the second was the Evergreen Sleigh. Again, these are coming with many of the beads to complete them. There should be plenty in there. The only thing that this does not have the charms and the little squares of perforated paper, which you can easily get. But the Celestial Sleigh is going to Denise Shearer. Congratulations, Denise. You are the recipient of the Celestial Sleigh. And the Evergreen Sleigh is going to @CatCrazyCreations. @CatCrazyCreations. Cat Crazy Creations, Cat Crazy Creations, Cat. That's a hard tongue twister. Cat Crazy Creations, Cat Crazy Creations, Cat Crazy. See, it's very difficult. Anyway, congratulations to the 2 of you. And the third giveaway is a giveaway from one of our neighbors, Jane. And this is the beautiful chart of the poem, Warning, When I Am Old, I Shall Wear Purple. And Jane is going to send, again, it's not the chart. Let me rephrase that. This does not come with the chart. This is just the partially stitched piece, and you will have to get the chart and it is available. But this is going to Lorraine Bergman. Congratulations, Lorraine. Lorraine is a longtime viewer of XrossStitch. Congratulations, Lorraine. And if all 3 of you will send me your mailing addresses to the email address below, chriscrossstitch@gmail.com, I will get those in the mail to you. And Lorraine, yours is going to be coming directly from Jane herself, so I will forward that address on to Jane and you will receive that shortly. So congratulations to all 3 of you. We have 3 giveaways for this week too, and of course I always like to theme things. I wanted them to be Valentine-y, and I had nothing to give away that was Valentine-y, so I just went for cute. I just defaulted to cute. And these are definitely cute. Well, this is kind of Valentine-y. There are hearts on one of them. This is one of those 3-in-1 stitch kits. These were offered by Cross Stitching Magazine, and one of our dear neighbors sent me a whole bunch of things like this. But if you would like to be considered for this giveaway, cupcake, it will be the keyword of cupcake, because these are card kit of cupcakes. Card kits of cupcakes. That's another tongue twister. Card kits of cupcakes. Card kits of cupcakes. Card kits of cupcakes. I'm better at that one. If you haven't noticed, I'm mad as a hatter. There's another Alice in Wonderland rep. See, it's all full circle here at XrossStitch. Just the themes upon themes. It's just subliminal. It just happens. It just happens. The next giveaway. This is another little card kit. I believe this came with a magazine as well. But this is called All Our Yesterdays. This is a Faye Whitaker little design of a little girl sitting at the beach with her dog. Is that just the cutest thing? The key word for this is going to be, what can this be? What keyword can this, yesterday? Yesterday. It's not very cute, but that can be the keyword, yesterday, for this one. And then lastly, I have a really good, well, those are really good, but this is really good and practical. This is from It's So Emma. This was graciously sent to me a while back from Fat Quarter Shop, and this is a denim, one of their larger denim project bag. This is folded in half. You see, this is a large project bag with the zipper. This is of that of a plastic canvasy material that they do. And I've had these before and given them out, and they're very, very handy. I use a few of these myself. And so if you are interested in this, let's use the keyword denim, because it's a denim daisy project bag, keyword denim. And of course, remember Fat Quarter Shop when you're doing your purchasing, because they're so kind enough to send us these things. As with everything, please be 18 years of age or older. If you want to be entered for a giveaway so I can ask you for your address, please be a subscriber to my channel, like the video, and don't use any keywords like you. I don't know why I still say this, but, you know, I just feel like it's a public service, you know, announcement sort of thing. So you know what to do. And those winners will be announced in 2 weeks' time. So that's today's video. Thank you so much for taking time to spend with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too dour, but it would have been very irresponsible of me not to be honest and authentic with you, because I always am. And I always, you know, you're all grown-ups out there. So have a great couple of weeks. I hope you get a lot of stitching in. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.